Hello, travelers from around the globe, and welcome on the episode 7 of my travel cast. Today, I would like to talk about journey and life because I have interesting guests. Melanie, who born and raised in New Zealand, and Jay from India, who immigrated to New Zealand 2 decades ago, where he met Melanie like 11 years ago, and since then they travel. Guys, welcome. Many thanks for participation, and cool. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're great. Thank you for asking us to come and join you on your podcast.
Right. Can you maybe introduce briefly yourself? I already said a little bit, but maybe you would like to add something.
So I'm Jay. I'm 49 years old. I was born in India and I moved to New Zealand with my young family. My daughter was 1 year old. And then pretty much the last 20 years have been sort of making sure I look after her, raise her and everything. So I didn't have a lot of time to travel. But now that she's old and out of the house, that gives us more time to travel. And then I met Melanie, who is also very interested in traveling. So that was obviously the best thing ever for me. And for the last 11 years, we try to travel as much as we can.
I'm Melanie. I'm 40 years old. I'm a primary school teacher from New Zealand. Every time there's a school holiday, that's when I travel. So I don't travel as much as Jay, but I travel when I can.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask you, how you combine your travel with teacher job, but you already answered, you got holidays, but there's no other option. You cannot take some vacations or something to travel as much as Jay, right?
Yes, so this time I've got special permission, so I'm taking a term off, but I can't do that all the time.
Right, exactly. Interesting. And Jay, what are you doing in life?
So I'm into IT. I'm a business analyst and I'm a contractor. So,
right.
So basically what it means is essentially I can take as much holidays as I want because they don't pay me when I'm not working. Obviously, I got responsibilities and projects to work with, but usually it's all right to take holidays. So that's how I can travel a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, this IT stuff, privilege.
Yeah.
And, I saw that you Jay personally, right? We a little bit discuss it together, but I want to open that you kind of go into your goal, right? For 100 countries to travel, explore the world. Melanie, you already on 85, 86, something like this. Melanie a little bit behind and you doesn't have this goal. But so far, can you tell if those countries, most of them are together or how all was this journey, where it all started for you and this goal to get to this 100? Yeah, is it some child dream or just...
No, not really. Actually, there was no goal. As I said before, traveling was never on my mind. I always wanted to do it, but I was raising a child, so I could never travel. But I think it actually started with Melanie once coming to home and saying that she met her colleague who said her goal was to go to 50 countries before she's 50.
50.
So I'm like, okay, that's a very nice goal to have. So that stuck to me and I said, look, I'm going to do 50 countries by the time I'm 50. So I'm still not 50. I've got few more months to go. And that was my goal. So I said, okay, I'm going to do 50. But then somehow it got a bit out of hand. and
you got addicted.
I got addicted. And if I would have it my way, I want to do 100 before 50. But that's not going to happen. Hopefully by the end of this trip, I would be at 93. So that's what, there's no goal. But again, as goals are, you start with one goal. And as soon as you achieve that goal, you make another goal. So there is no goal as such. I just wanted to do 50 countries before I'm 50 and all 7 continents, which I've done.
You already done 7 continents?
I've done all 7 continents.
No, I have not.
No, so what do you miss?
I haven't been to Antarctica or South America.
Yeah.
All right. You've been in Antarctica?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh, can you tell a little bit more?
No, so I...
Because this one I didn't even know. I just get curious.
So I did Antarctica in 2019, just before COVID. So I took a sort of a expedition boat from Argentina, Ushuaia, and it was like a 10-day small cruise, which you do from Ushuaia. So 3 days to cross the Drake crossing, which is one of the world's most dangerous crossing. and then you go to Antarctica. Then we had 4 days of exploring Antarctica because we had a smaller boat, so we could go to our smaller sites. And I mean, I cannot explain the experience I had because it was just going on a land where no human has gone before. At one point, I had about 30,000 penguins around me. So it can't be explained. It can't be explained. The fresh air the sound and the lack of sound sometimes.
Okay, interesting. Okay. And so it was like an expedition.
Well, I wouldn't call it an expedition.
What you kind of
it was not an expedition. It was a tourist, but it was an expedition boat. What I mean by that is that expedition boats are a lot smaller boats, and I chose them because, as I said, the smaller boats can penetrate a lot more, whereas the bigger boats, if you go on a kind of a cruisy kind of boat with 2,000, 3,000 people, then you are not quite going as much closer to Antarctica as possible, and you only go to bigger sites. So that's why.
And you also went to the mainland, right?
Yeah, the
main
Antarctica.
ice.
The Antarctica is very big, so obviously you can go anywhere. But yeah, we did about, I think, 7 or 8 landings.
Interesting. And when was that?
2019, just before COVID.
Just before, you're lucky. Wow. Lucky, double lucky, you know. Lucky that you didn't stay there, you know.
Yeah, COVID happened afterwards.
Imagine you will have lockdown and Antarctica. You know?
I can't come back.
Interesting. And can I ask how much it was cost? Just because I don't know in general.
Yes, it was expensive. So the whole
exactly
trip,
I can imagine.
Yeah, so I think the whole trip was around. I think it costed me about 15,000 New Zealand dollars. So that's about 7,500 euros.
But everything with all tickets, I think it's okay.
Yeah, it was not that.
It's of course it's expensive to take out the pocket of money, but like to thinking to go. God knows where.
yeah, exactly. Because I had to fly from New Zealand to obviously Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, then the cruise and then back. So yeah, but it was worth the experience. Like for me at least, it was.
Definitely. Because I was thinking, I know the prices for some mountains, Himalayas. I think you also. I read you to Everest. Yeah, I think it's more or less the same price, right?
Yes.
Like 5,000 euros, something like this. I heard.
Well, I think I did Everest Base Camp a little bit cheaper because I didn't. What is the word I'm looking for? Didn't pick up the most luxury tour, and I really wanted to do that because personally, when you're going on the mountain, Everest Base Camp. It should be as basic as possible so you can explore the realness. I mean, it's not glamping. So you can, some people do spend a lot of money where they have 2 or 3 porters with them where they don't have to carry any food or they can eat with as much as they want or whatever they want, but that's not true mountain climbing according to me. So I didn't spend that much, but yeah, it can be expensive depending upon how much you pay, and again the flights.
Yes. But yeah, like this, what I thought in my mind, I would didn't know how much for Antarctica, for example. Man, 30,000 penguins! Oh my god!
Yes,
it's another one of my list where. And could you kind of come to them somehow to swim, to do something in general, like this, human interaction with.
Well,
or they say like better not. Like,
so we were not allowed to obviously touch them because they are wild.
Yeah.
But
they can bite. They can bite.
But
crazy guys.
But what we have noticed is we are not allowed to touch them. But somehow nobody told them to not touch us.
So that's kind of really.
Yeah. So they have not seen humans. Some of them ever, right? Because this is life. So they just come to you. Because they're curious and you are like, please don't come to me, I'm not allowed to come close to you, but they'll come close to you and they are just walking and they fall down and they're fighting and sometimes their fight gets out of hand and they come right close to you and everything. So it was very interesting.
Really interesting. Yes. Wow. Cool stuff. And it's like you can go there, like find an internet and just go to this expedition. It's like
they are
you don't need any permission.
No,
visa for you. But
yes. So you don't need as such. You might have to look at your passports and everything, depending upon where you're flying from. Let's say if you're going from South America, so you need visas to get in there. But generally, the boat you pick up looks after everything. So the boat I went on. Was all inclusive. So the food was inclusive. There was no other extra cost for landing or doing some activity or something. So it depends upon what boat you book. Usually it includes everything. I don't think you need any visas to go to Antarctica as such.
I don't think
But
so,
maybe
yeah.
from where you go from, that you might need a visa to go there.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Wow, man, like Antarctica, what the hell? Really, but this is, would you like to go?
No, that's why I didn't.
What do you mean, let's go?
She had an option. I said, do you want to come with me? And she said, why would I go
too
there?
cold. That's what I
Well,
said.
I think
And then
it's too cold?
No, he's never cold.
It was not cold. Trust
He
me.
think-
I was actually had to take my jacket off at times because the only
Because
time it
it
get
reflects in sun.
exactly
yeah,
because
yeah.
if you're on the ice, which we were, right, you don't get cold. If you
Because
get wet,
ice-
it's like going to skiing.
Yeah,
People go
yeah,
to ski
yeah,
all the time
yeah.
and they
Exactly,
get warm.
exactly.
So it's the same thing like that. If you get wet, then you get cold. But we were always geared up. We had long shoes and everything. So I think it was
Actually, I think the pictures looked really nice.
yeah.
But the Drake Passage does not sound so good.
That is the worst part of the trip was the Drake crossing.
What
for
is
3 days, the Drake crossing,
ocean?
the ocean crossing is one of the world's
It's rough.
roughest sea. For
But from wave?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
So for 3 days we were pretty much vomiting the whole time.
And pills didn't help? Did you use a lot of
Yeah,
these
we
pills?
were having pills all the time,
Nothing, yeah.
but it's not helping because you have sort of so much seasick,
Okay.
and our boat was smaller, which made it harder.
Yeah.
But when I asked my crew members as of how hard it is, they said that on the scale of 1 to 10, we were only at 3. So it can get worse. And I was like 3, we were falling off our bed, and the food was flying everywhere.
And you was jumping
And we were jumping and everything. So I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
imagine what 10 would look
So
like.
that's actually put me off wanting to go.
Oh, this is actually very
But I
true.
didn't know that. I just thought it was quite cold. When I saw the pictures, I'm like, oh, it's quite nice. I love penguins, but
Exactly, right?
I do not like vomiting for 3 days.
Yeah, no, so that was the hard part. But I mean exactly because everybody's kind of in the same boat. We had to still eat and vomit, so we were doing that non-stop. There were buckets and everything.
Yeah.
The crew looked after us because they knew we were going to vomit every time.
But my dad, he works in shipboat, fisherman, he used to work. And he said the same, like, if you vomit once, then, like, forget it. It will keep going until you heal itself.
Yeah,
So if you can keep this first one, then it's somehow like it's bad feelings, but you still keep it. But if you go, this seasickness
Yep.
is taken. In a way, you're becoming like this. Out of how you call it? Not dizzy. It's even worse than dizzy.
Yeah, it's like your like body.
Yeah,
the
your body is out,
yeah, it's just
literally. You know, you just lay like you puking. You know, like this. I don't know temperature. Did you?
Yeah.
Feel?
No,
I don't know.
But also, I think the seasickness is like contagious as well. What I mean by contagious, where you smell the sickness. And you start vomiting, or you hear it and you vomit. So it was like a competition.
everyone.
It was like a competition going on. Like
maybe
somebody was
concert.
holding up, one person threw up, and then everybody said, "You know what?" And everybody started. So it was like there was a bit of competition. Who can vomit more?
Yeah. People think traveling's glamorous. It's not always.
Yeah, no.
Not always, right? Not for everyone.
And then the other thing I would add is penguin poos a lot. So some of the ice were not white; they were like
There was black and white, like
black and white
penguins, yeah.
ice because they are pooping everywhere. So the photograph looks nice, but that's kind of the reality of it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. And we already touched the Everest. What about you? Did you go to Everest? No, you
I
did.
went to Nepal and met him after he climbed Everest.
Ah, okay. So, but you've been in Nepal also, yeah. So,
Yeah,
like,
I went
but
to
then,
meet
like, when
him.
he went
When he
through.
came down the mountain, I met him.
I went before her. I flew to Kathmandu. I did my base camp. I came down.
But you went to the top?
No. The Everest Base Camp, not the top of the Everest. That's very hard and very expensive. So I went up to the base camp and I came back. The day I came back, Melanie also flew from New Zealand. Then we traveled a little bit of Nepal and Bhutan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nepal and Bhutan already like together and everything.
Yeah, because Bhutan is like about 1 hour from Nepal. It's like for you guys going from Poland to anywhere else in Europe. Yeah.
And and how was Nepal in general?
I
Also,
loved
very
Nepal.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food.
Food is amazing. It's very similar to the Indian food. So I have a bit of familiarity with the food.
Yes.
They do some good, amazing dumplings, and they've got some good Indian flavored or spicy flavored curries, rice.
Yeah.
Dal bhat is their favorite food, which is like lentils and rice. The best.
Yeah. And the people were really friendly too. It's a really nice place. And they've got a lot of monkeys. The monkey temple.
Yep.
Totally monkey temple. And in general, how like the Nepal situation, how they live in like with all this, like, because I'm not sure. China oppressed Nepal, right? I said no from this
I
perspective.
think China
From
oppresses
this
everybody, but they have a border sharing. So China shares border with Nepal, even India for that matter, and Pakistan. So, but there was nothing in Kathmandu. So Kathmandu is towards India's side. So I don't think there was anything there as such.
I didn't notice anything.
No, we didn't notice anything. It's just a typical Asian country where it's a bit crowded, obviously, because there's a lot many people, bit chaos.
The roads are terrible.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many potholes.
Yeah, like a lot of street food, people are on the street selling. So those kind of typical Asian chaos is there in Nepal. Yeah.
That's to be expected.
That's expected, exactly. Got to be careful with what you eat and how you eat and where you eat, but that's just what it is.
And nice. Just short back to this Everest. Is there any like also like some tips like you can fastly give in general for people who wanna go, for some beginners, like exactly like Everest is like, again, did you vomit maybe there, like, or some pills also?
No,
but in general, how was it difficult? Did you prepare?
Yep, I didn't vomit on Everest, but I have a confession. I did poop on Everest. So because when you are traveling,
you become a penguin.
Yeah, because when you are sometime hiking, we were hiking for sometimes 4, 5, 6 hours with no toilets.
Yeah, of course.
And when you gotta go. So that's something we did. We all had our share of pooping in the open ground or behind a rock. But we stayed in what they call as huts. So there are like small houses, like village houses where you stay. So they're very basic, a bed and some simple food for you to eat. So that was there.
All right.
And you had to take some
altitude.
pills?
Yes. So
altitude sickness is a problem.
So altitude sickness. So yes, good point, Mel. I think there were two things which was very crucial. Obviously, you need to be fit. If you want to do Everest Base Camp, because you got 14 days of hiking. So general fitness is always advisable to practice as much as you can. Carry some weight on your back when you're walking, so you get used to carrying some weight on your back, because you'll be carrying weight for 14 days. But when it comes to altitude sickness, there's not much you can do other than taking altitude sickness pills. But the best thing you can do is keep on drinking a lot of water, because water has got natural oxygen. As you get higher, the body can't absorb a lot of oxygen, but the water you can. So that's one thing I did, right? So you have a sort of what do you call it? The camelback, we call it, the water.
With a straw?
With the straw.
Right. Yeah, this for bicycle hiking.
Yeah, exactly. So you carry that so that
this is super cool stuff.
Yeah, so basically you can keep sipping on it while you're walking, so that you don't have to go and reach your water bottle and take it. So you constantly drink. So drink as much water as you can and just be general fitness and do your best.
Good, yeah.
But generally the tour company you go with are very, very nice. Like they look after you. They check your oxygen every night to make sure you have enough oxygen, and if you don't have enough oxygen, they would either make you wait till you recover, or at times what we did was we wanted to adjust to the altitude. So what we did was at Namchi Bazaar is a classic example where you have a 2-day halt. So you don't go up until you have acclimatized, and every day you climb a little bit up and then you come down again, just to get your body used to the higher altitude and so on.
Interesting.
So even if you do everything right, you can still have altitude sickness. It's just bad luck.
Yeah. But
I was all right. Like there were people who had to be flown back, but that's just what it is. Yeah.
But I think also if you go higher, and like it's getting more and more.
Yeah, exactly. The air gets thinner. You lose your appetite. You don't, and it was cold, so you don't want to drink too much water, because it's easy to drink water when it's hot, but when it's cold and the water is freezing as well, and you're walking and you're tired and you don't want to eat, so your body is not getting that much natural, minerals and vitamins what you need. Yep.
And you, Melanie, let's go to your stories. Do you have, or maybe again, stories in common? It's also very, very much welcome to share. But do you have any like memorable stories, funny or like some challenging? How you or maybe your personal,
Oh well, one time we were traveling in Rome, and I understood that they were going to have a train strike. But we go to the train station, it's open, we're like, maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know, I don't speak Italian. So we hop on the train, we go out for the day, everything's great, go back to the train, locked. So we're like really far from Rome, we don't know how to get back. But in the end, Jay managed to bribe a local, give them some money, and they drove us back to Rome. So sometimes things go wrong. Yeah.
The whole sort of public system was on strike. There's no buses, there's no train, there's no way to get back to Rome.
And I knew there was a strike. I understood that, but I didn't understand
that this works.
exactly the time because I can't understand the language. It didn't help knowing that since we still went on the train, we're like, oh, must be wrong, must be fine. Yeah, obviously, it started at midday or something.
Most of our disaster overseas are due to the language barrier. When we don't understand their language or we don't...
Yeah, it's like the time you ordered a latte.
Yeah. So I was in Italy. I thought, wow, I need to go and try a coffee Italian style. So I went to this coffee bar and I said, look, I'm going to order a coffee Italian style. So I went to the guy and said, I want a latte. And he looked at me saying, latte? I said, yes, latte, please. And he asked me again, are you sure you want a latte? And I knew there was something wrong, but I kept saying, yes, I want a latte. So he went back and he brought me the frothy milk. And the story behind this is in New Zealand, when you say latte, it's automatically default means cafe latte. That means it's a coffee with milk.
It's everywhere.
But not in Italy.
But not in Italy, yeah.
No.
Not in Italy.
For them, I don't believe it exists even.
Yeah, it's just milk.
That's what he said to you.
So then when I asked him, so he gave me a milk like as if I'm a kid. And I said, where's the coffee? I said, you asked for a latte. I said, yes, I asked for a latte, but where's the coffee? And he got so upset at me.
It's a cafe latte.
Because Italians, you know. And he's like, you want a latte? Okay, take your milk. There's no coffee. You drink the coffee, you know.
Yes. So that was a
maximum cappuccino.
Yeah. Sometimes you order a cappuccino. If you'd done that, would have been all right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. This will be you will be. If depend on the daytime. If you do it in the evening, I think they might.
Yep.
Because I saw the videos and something they was looking. No, cappuccino is in the morning. In the afternoon, evening is espresso. You know.
They have rules.
Yeah. And I somehow admire them. I have some. Of course, like a little bit, guys, like what the fuck, you know, kind of bit chill. But at the same time, really admire that people keep their culture, the way it is, or at least they still keeping it somehow. And I think it's really difficult in the global world to keep these roots, you know, and be still progressive and still, you know, but still try to save somehow. You know, all world already make this pizza with pineapples and something, but they still say no, guys. You cannot. You know, it's interesting, really interesting approach from the cultural perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I wanna open up the part, you know, as a couple, travel as a couple. You know, you guys a little bit more elder, right? More grown up than me, and like then also the first guest I had in the podcast also was a nice sweet young couple. However, really for me interesting to see it from your approach, because at least you can imagine, right? Like when it's young people and when they travel together, it's a lot of, for you definitely the same, but I mean young people more reactive, yeah, they more into argue or into something or into this. So how you challenging the situation? Because definitely when you travel, you have a lot of time together, some small random stress situations, you know, anything can go wrong. Somebody wanna go, somebody not, somebody tired, somebody wanna eat, somebody wanna sleep. No, always, it's like just constant travel issue.
Yes.
However, I'm just really curious how you going through it and like what challenges you have, or how maybe you already know some stories what you had and how you went through this, or how you learn each other, because it's also very much learning process, right? Like
Well, Jay's like the big planner. He comes up with the big ideas and says, I want to go to these countries. And I'm more the day-to-day planner. But when it's a long trip like this one, I go on strike sometimes. I'm just too tired. And then he like takes over for the day because he can see I'm just not having it. So I think when one of us is having a bad day, the other one just helps. So we take turns. It's very rare we're both having a bad day.
But also, like, when you travel often, you really do understand each other's habits and the strength and the weakness. My weakness is I can't pay attention to details sometimes. Well, Melanie comes in, so if I would have to pay somewhere or I forgot my credit card or anything like that, Mel pays more attention to that than me. And I have to make sure that Melanie is well fed and everything, because she gets tired. And when she gets tired, she can't decide what to eat, and she needs the food at the right time. So having a snack with me, like today, we already brought food for her in the morning, because I know we'll be on the bus, and if she gets on the bus without any food, she'll be upset and tired and hungry. So that's basically what it is. Look, we're not perfect. We fight and we disagree, but that's just healthy. Ultimately, we do manage to resolve whatever problem we have in hand, because one of us would probably better at that than the other one, you know.
Yeah. I don't think it's any different when you're younger or when you're older, to be honest. I think it's more like how long you spent with that person. Right. So we've traveled together so often, we have a rhythm. Like, I know he's going to wake up later than me, so I don't wake him up. Just easy.
The other thing also, like, we've been traveling for a while now, so I guess the other advantage we have is, I don't want to say that, but it's kind of seen it all, done it all kind of thing. So you don't get a lot of surprises. You go with the flow, and if things don't work out, whatever it is, we say, oh, well, let's move on. Mm-hmm. You don't sort of...
like when it's your first trip, you can get really, I think, overwhelmed or stressed out, whereas we're like, oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and now and it's kind of, after traveling a lot, you don't have to do everything, because when we started traveling, every city we go to, we have to go and do all the museum, and we got to see all the activities, and we have to do the cable car, and we have to do
everything,
a boat,
up the tower.
Whatever the city has got, and we have to do it, right? Two things is, it does cost a lot of money, but also the planning, because you have to try to fit everything into your schedule within a day or two. Like the museums don't open on Wednesday, or it opens at 10 o'clock, and this closes at afternoon, whereas now we just do whatever we can, and we don't have to go to every museum. We are happy to just...
It doesn't matter if it's shut.
Yeah, so it's okay. Like, so that's been another advantage, that we don't have to do everything. It does cost less now and less stress. So we can get up a little bit later in the morning and come back, you know. Mm-hmm. Food-wise, we're getting more and more tolerant as the day go by. So we don't have to have the right food every time. So sometimes we're hungry, we just have fish and chips. Or sometimes we're hungry, we have a pizza, you know.
Right. So yeah, good. So like just simply... to see how it goes, let it be, like, you know, interesting.
I think until you travel with someone, you don't know if it will work.
Totally, absolutely.
Like, so many people go to travel with a friend and it's a disaster.
Yeah.
So, but you don't know until you try. So there's no secret formula. It's just...
And it's nothing right or wrong. It's just two different, as Melanie said, I like to sleep in the morning.
Sorry.
Mel is an early starter, like, but we don't go clubbing or drinking, so that's a good thing. We can sleep a little bit early, and then both of us are ready for the day.
But yesterday you was clubbing, no? Oh boy. And makes sense. But I totally agree with you that it's absolutely... It really makes sense. It's not about also like couple or something, even like with friends. Yeah, you can be a good friend, you go travel, and it's bomb. It's
and because you can have different expectations, different styles.
Tempo of even life, right? Like when you meet two friends, just meet two friends. Yeah,
it's really different at home and then when you go somewhere else.
Yes.
You see the true behavior or true colors when you travel with them.
You see them at your worst.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right.
Because you see under the pressure the
exactly.
person,
When
right?
things are fine, you've got everything planned, you're on tour, that's fine, then it's all everything good. But if then things go wrong, you missed a bus, or you couldn't eat, or you couldn't sleep, or your booking is cancelled, that's when the reality hits in.
And we very rarely do a tour. Like, we always do our own thing. So there's more things that can go wrong. Yeah. There's no one there to help
But then also, we have to blame ourselves. We don't have anybody else to blame, so, you know.
Each other.
Right. Come on, I told you to do this. Right. Interesting. You touched something nice, and I wanna like just open it up. So way of travel? Because you say you don't book, for example, tours, you don't do such a things. In general, how you can classify your way of travel? Like, is it like, I don't know, let's say, you allowed yourself everything, or you go all in, like you have some savings and then you kind of spend through some period of time, but nicely, or you trying to be on, like, I don't know, like anything is whatever, how it is for you. Yeah.
Normally we travel more on a budget, but we have done some other trips that are more expensive. Like we went to Kenya, and that one we did do a private tour, so it was more expensive. It's just us two, and we went
And
around
like the
to
thing
all
for
the safari
Antarctica, that
parks.
was all pretty much organized, right? Because
Exactly,
it was
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
So what I would say, we would call ourselves as budget travelers, but not necessarily budget as of like we live in motels or dome rooms and everything. What we mean by budget travelers is we take care of our money, so we only pay for things which are worth. So we are not fancy restaurant eaters, or we go drinking out in the night, or we take taxis everywhere. So we try to use public transport. We use couch surfing or cheaper hotels, and eat at the local place. Like the one you recommended today was very cheap, but it was very local
Yeah, this is
experience.
very
We were
local
standing
stuff,
in the
yeah.
queue.
We
We had
loved it.
no idea what we were ordering. We had no idea how to get the food,
Yeah.
what it would look like.
It was fun.
It was fun.
And
right?
it's
That's-
like in Asia, we eat on the street. We always eat street food. We actually
Alright,
like it
yeah.
better, but it's also cheaper. But we enjoy it.
Yeah, so
We
people
enjoy
don't
that.
realize how much money you can save if you use public transport, eat at a local places. So you're helping the economy. You are getting the real cultural experience. Because I always believe, and I tell people, if you want to travel to a country, you need to travel as minimum as possible. Stay in people's house, eat at a local place, and do things what the tourists don't do. If you're going to go in a 4-star or 5-star hotel, you pretty much eat the breakfast what you eat at home. You have all the hotels possibly look the same, and you don't get a local interaction. You know?
Yeah. Same for restaurants, McDonald's stuff.
Yeah, exactly,
like
exactly,
you know.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't think there's a right or a wrong way.
Yeah,
to
it's not
travel.
about judgment.
Like,
It's
some
about
people,
yes.
They want the 5-star experience. They want that
Exactly,
relaxation.
They got the
exactly,
comfort.
And
exactly.
yeah, why not?
Exactly,
Yeah.
totally
But for
get
us, we wouldn't say that our holidays are relaxing.
Yeah.
I would say they're more cultural experiences,
Yeah.
but they're not relaxing.
And like thanks to couch surfing and all the people we met on the way, we made friends. Like we have got friends
Right.
everywhere now, which is quite nice. So we're not going to hotel, because how many times would you remember your waiter's name, and do you know when his birthday was and what he's
Right.
doing? No, you don't. But I know most of them personally. Like
Yes,
we
yes,
are on
yes.
Facebook. We stay in touch. Maybe not every time, but we still say hello to each other every now and then.
Yes. Yeah, and how did you come to couch surfing? How this idea?
Actually, I didn't know about it until my friend. She lives in New Zealand, but she's from America. She told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds strange. Why would people let you stay in their house?"
Right.
But we had a look. We were like signed up. We tried it, and we loved it.
Where did you try first? In New Zealand?
Actually, no, in Europe.
So you
So
did
last
for real
time-
test, you know?
Last time we came to Europe in 2018, we tried it, and we thought we might just spend a night or two, but we ended up spending many nights in different houses, and it was amazing. Like in Salzburg, we got to go to this place on the mountains and live up there for a night or two. It was just really different, and meet lots of people, and they can tell you, about the local food, the local culture. They can explain things.
We met their parents, we met their dogs, we went for a walk with them, we met your friends today, things like
Right.
that. So there's a lot of interaction when you are...
It's
yeah.
not big in New Zealand. Like most people haven't heard of it. So if my friend hadn't told me, I wouldn't know.
All right.
Yeah, there are some people, but it's not something that everyone's heard of.
Yeah.
And did you try any local meetings, these hangouts, something in New Zealand?
No, we have not.
Just
done
out
that.
of curiosity how it works. Yeah, okay.
But after our trip to Europe last time, after a year or so, we had COVID, and so we weren't even on couch surfing because we couldn't leave the country. No one could come in the country.
Right.
And they introduced paying the money, and we were like, well, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we were off it for a while until
Right.
recently.
And any other apps? Did you try to find alternatives?
We try to wait because the moment I found out that couch surfing is now paid, we said, "Oh, let's look at what people are doing." So I went to Be Welcome or something like that.
Yeah, I think
but I don't
yeah.
think there's anybody there, or it would
Super small. I think it's less than 1 million people even for worldwide.
Yes.
Worldwide. Couchsurfing, I think. Last time when I was checking statistic, it was also more or less the same times as you, like COVID times when it was money, star subscription, and. I think Be Welcome was the closest competitor, and there is other application. And if I remember, if not Be Welcome, maybe another one. But I think it's Be Welcome because in my mind it's coming. It was 600,000 followers, 600,000 something, and Couchsurfing is 11 millions.
Yeah. It's
Uncomparable.
just such a big platform.
Uncomparable. Even like Facebook groups or something. There is also Facebook local groups. Like I know that people in Russia, they create because I don't know how it works now, but lately when I've been there, on my couchsurfer where I stay, how do you call it, couchsurfer? Anyway, my host, right? And she told that there is a guy create a group, not in Facebook, in Russian Facebook, this VK, ВКонтакте. The group, kind of couchsurfing Rostov, the city of or something like this. And like he is doing it there, and people when come, they text, "Hey, I'm coming." Somebody can kind of do like this, but inside just the social media.
Yeah.
I don't remember why he started to do this way, this alternative, or maybe Telegram group, but something he created. Anyway, so people kind of trying to get, and I personally know people, some German guys. They was trying to create some alternative platform because they mostly was made on functionality of couchsurfing that is not developing, that is, so they was trying to create alternative, but I don't know how it's going. I lost the link. My bad. Yeah. Because I really would like to see, but I really lost it. I don't know. All right, so something like this, and so no other apps, nothing.
No, I think
if we're not using couchsurfing, we will normally use Booking.com.
Yeah, we just book a hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
We've done a few times during the trip where some of the cities is a lot hard to find a host, partly because the city is too busy and it's so premium that they rent out their rooms or Airbnb and so on. So that's fine. That's okay. We do have a budget kept aside in case if we don't find a host. It's just life.
I see. And wanted to ask you, so far, is any funny couchsurfing stories?
No, not really. No funny.
Chill.
Obviously, couchsurfing by itself means funny stories, and not funny story in the sense it's interesting. I would say, right? Because every person you meet is different. They are different walk of life, different age. Like you're probably half my age, so we're obviously going to have a little bit of difference in our viewing. You obviously grew up in Belarus, we grew up in New Zealand, or I grew up in India and New Zealand. So there's always a bit of cultural differences. When you go to a hotel, everything is expected. There's a towel, there's toilet papers. There's no rules as such, you can leave your baggage behind. Right. Whereas couchsurfing by itself comes up with all of those complications, right? Where you have to sometimes have a language barrier, sometimes you have to stay in a room, or sometimes you don't have a bed, and sometimes the bed there's no pillow, all of those things. But that's what makes it interesting, right? So. You can't expect everything. So we've had some amazing couch experience where in Ljubljana we stayed with this lady and the house was like the most perfect house I have ever seen.
Like you could imagine it in a magazine. Houses.
Like everything is perfect. There was towels. The only thing which was missing was chocolate on our pillow. But everything else was
fountain from
exactly. And room service. But other than that, it was perfect. Like you wouldn't even be able to get that service if you were in a 5-star hotel. That's what
I should check in Ljubljana couchsurfing because I was in hostel and it was really bad.
Yes, and then similarly we had couchsurfing where it was not as great it should be. But that's just
Yeah, it's like
that's just what it is, right? People are doing their best, so I don't think it's a reflection on them. And again, everybody, you're going into their house, right? So you have to be mindful of how they live.
Absolutely.
And the cleanliness or the way they keep their house or clothes or dishes or everything is very different to everybody. So you can't really, and that's one beauty of traveling longer. You become tolerant or more adaptable to all of these things, right? Which makes you more humble. That yes, that is how they live. That's how they survive. So you accept them and move on.
Totally. I really agree with this approach. What you have, that you go into some other people way of living, how they live, like not to judge. Somebody has in any case of scenario, the people give you the best.
Yeah, exactly.
If they already accept you, that means they already trying. Yeah, maybe something would be not perfect. Totally agree. Clearness or something, but it's not because person want to do something to you. It's just person live like this.
Yes.
Maybe some more difficult stage of life. You never know. It's like.
And the classic example, we were staying in this person where in the night he turns off his internet. So that's just the way he is. It's not like doing that to piss us off, but that's what he does every day. He turns off the lights and everything in the internet, and that's very unheard of. We would never do that, The internet stays on the whole night, but he said, "No, I save the power. I turn off the internet." Said, okay, that's how you live,
And we've had couch surfing last time where the people weren't even there. They were like, the keys hidden here. Let yourself in. I'm overseas. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Which is really
and you've never seen them?
No, never seen them.
No, and they're very trusting. It's a very trusting community.
In the house and leave the keys and go.
That's nice. Good.
And then there was this time we had a person who, luckily we came to his house. He said, "Oh, you guys, welcome. Here's the key. I'm sorry, I have to go for 2 days for my work. So the house is yours.
See you later."
Yeah, same with the guy
See you somewhere.
in Belgrade, right? He just was with us with 1 day, and then he said, "I'm going away for a holiday."
But he warned me. The other guy didn't tell us till we got there that he was actually going away for a work
He
trip.
said, "Just lock the house and leave." I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll come back with all your furniture, else I'm going to sell it all. So it's very good. And then there are couch surfers who won't even give you a key.
Yeah.
So you have to go out when they go, and you come back when they go, and that's
understandable.
I mean, thankfully with COVID, a lot of people are working from home now, so that's a good thing now. That people are a lot more at home than what they were before.
Yeah. Interesting. So you mentioned also already Ljubljana and Belgrade, and I know that you travel around here, like Eastern Europe and like Balkans here there. So how is going this trip, and can you drop some highlights? Where you going, how you going, and
You can go, Matt.
Oh, well, the trip's going really well. We're really enjoying everything. I think what's interesting for us was the Balkans, the similarities between all the countries, and I know that they used to be joined. We learned a lot actually that we didn't know before.
The food. I think for personally for me, the biggest differentiation or commonality is based on the food. So when I see the food is similar, I can see that they were together at some stage of their life because they got similar things. They might rename it, they might call it that we call it this here and we call it there, but you can see that it's the same food with a little bit of variation. So food is the most important thing for me. And then obviously the language, right? Which again
similar.
For us, everything sounds the same, unfortunately.
But you can see it similar. They have the same alphabet. And
And then the people makes what it is. So overall, our experience has been great because we met some amazing people. I don't think we even met one other than the driver who was upset at us. So this was the story. We were in Ljubljana again. The Ljubljana recently introduced an app where you can pay the bus ticket on an app. And so Melanie paid through the app, and the bus driver would not accept that, and started yelling at us and wanted to get off the bus and pay and everything. But that's just what it is. He might not know about the app, or so sometimes the language could be a barrier where they are trying to tell you something, or maybe they're even trying to help you, and you just don't understand, and then they give up. So
Yeah. And Croatia was super beautiful. We really enjoyed Croatia. We went to
Montenegro was
the
beautiful.
Lakes National Park,
Yeah.
and it was amazing.
the other most interesting thing is every time we tell somebody we are going here or we came from here, they have no idea what we are saying because we cannot say the words here.
Because like
Yes. So again, we would say here we are at Warklo. Whereas I'm sure you're saying it differently.
yeah, Wrocław.
Yes, exactly. So when we come back and we have a conversation saying, where have you been? And I say, I've been here. And they're like,
Where's
"What?
that?"
Where is that?
Just speak different language. Yeah, this is
So-
true.
so
This is true.
It's not the language, it's just the way you say and some of the sound and thing. That has been the most interesting thing. Going to supermarket is always the most interesting thing because everything is different. They look different, name different.
This is true. This is true. This is might be nice. And in general, guys, good conversation. Like I'm enjoying also. However, we can maybe slowly wrap it up, right? Because we opened several nice topics and like with couple travels and like you shared the stories. Very, very interesting stories. I also still need to process and maybe ask you more later on. And and so far, how is it going? What is your favorite country around this area?
Oh, I can't tell you that because that would be creating another war here. I think all countries are beautiful. As I said before, they all are very
But by
different.
feelings, don't judge by criteria. It's just like
Personally, because New Zealand doesn't have a lot of history, it's a fairly new country. I like old towns and old structures. So for me, any city which has got old towns, so your town is beautiful because it's got so much history. Split was nice, Dubrovik was nice, Mostar was nice. And again, there was nothing about cities, just that they had a lot more older structure and history for us. I personally don't like modern cities, because we live in a modern city, so I don't get excited about skyscrapers or fancy glass buildings. So that would be my differentiation of what I like and not. But that does not mean that city is not good or bad. I also like cities which has got good public transport, good
Which is pretty much all of Europe.
Yeah.
yeah, in Europe,
Europe
it's
is
good.
amazing.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is in New Zealand not like this?
No, we don't have.
It's awful.
We have public transport, but it's not
It's
as
awful.
yeah.
So cars the same
Yeah.
like US, Australia.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to have your own car to get around, and yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. So we enjoy how good it is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, Melanie, what would be your pick?
I think I'm gonna pick Croatia, but we just got to Poland. I'm really enjoying it, and
Okay, good.
yeah, I think I'm even more interested since my grandmother was born here. So it's been good. But we just got here.
But you had Polish roots. You have Polish roots, don't
Yes.
you? Yeah.
My grandmother was born here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know the city?
Warsaw.
Warsaw. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you will go.
Yes, we will go there.
Yeah. And maybe any other advices you have in general for all way of travelers. I don't even know what kind of listeners I have. So young, old, any.
My only advice, which you probably have heard 100 times, is look, the time, what you spend in travel is the best time you can, right? Do as much travel as you can, partly because work would come back, money would come back, but the time you not travel would never come back. Take every opportunity you can go, embrace the culture, be flexible, listen more, talk less, kind of thing when you are overseas to see. Don't judge people, right? Because they are how they are based on what experiences they had, That's pretty much it, I guess, and you don't have to spend top dollars to travel. I think people have this fancy idea, and nothing wrong with that, what Melanie covered before, where you have to stay in a fancy hotel, drink margarita every night, and eat at fancy Italian restaurants. You can do that, but if you do that, you can't travel more often because you can only do so much. Whereas what we tend to do is we tend to kind of let go of some of those comforts and thing, but we like to travel more, you know.
And we always say, will we regret not doing this? So if you're not sure about doing something, we always say better regret doing it than not doing it.
Right.
Because say you wanted to do something, but you're not sure, getting all the way back there to do it in another year or two time is like so much more money and time. You may as well just do it and then be like, that was terrible. Or it might be the best thing ever. Because otherwise you're going to go home thinking, oh, I should have done that. And it's going to stay in your mind. So
It's a beautiful word that you say.
It's a very funny story. So that is something I learned when I was in Antarctica. So in Antarctica, one of the night they announced that we're going to give 50 people an opportunity to jump off the boat into the water, freezing cold water of Antarctica.
Oh my God.
And I was sharing a cabin with this American guy, and he said, "Are you going to do it?" I said, "No way, I'm not going to kill myself, you know." And he told me the same thing, saying, "Jay," and I said, "I'm going to regret it. What if I fall sick?" I said, "Jay, believe me or not, you're going to regret it no matter what. You might go into the water, come out and fall sick and regret it, but if you don't do it, how often are you going to come to Antarctica?
Exactly.
Will you ever get a chance to jump into the water?" And he said, "Well, choose your regrets."
Exactly.
And I did it, and it was amazing. Like, so because it's expedition boat, so there was no graceful way to go in the water and come out of the water. So what they do is they tie you on a big rope and they throw you off the side, and
They really
and
know what
you,
they do.
and then they bring you out, and then there are 3 people standing with bath ropes to cover you, and a vodka straight into your mouth. That's the only way they
To
can.
warm you up. Yeah.
And you cannot stay more than 30 seconds. If you are more than 30 seconds, you would probably die.
my other advice for travelers, don't spend money you don't have.
Right.
Some people have credit card holidays. If you save the money, then go.
All right.
Otherwise, I think it's going to add stress and you're going to come back and it's not good. I mean, someone might disagree with me, but I think save the money, then go. Be serious about saving it. Put it somewhere separate if you need to.
But then just spend nicely, like the way how you have it from perspective of possibilities, right?
Yeah.
So, but credit card might get you. It's actually a good approach. Yeah. Nice, cool guys. Many thanks. Really appreciate it. High fives.
High five.
Thank you so much. See you in the next episode. All of you.